Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arthritis Help Movement Improvement session where you learn to move differently so you can move better. I'm Dr. David Sofer, physical therapist, and today we're going to be learning how to roll in bed a little bit easier. It is a very common problem that I see people have. Either people have acute low back pain and moving in bed is extremely painful because of this flare-up that they've had, or even more commonly, I just find people that are stiff and immobile in their spine, and they just struggle to kind of turn from their back to their side, and I see them work so hard when really all they need to do is learn a few tricks, a couple of techniques, and things get a lot simpler, a lot easier. So today we're gonna kind of analyze what it takes to roll and figure out a few key elements that if you add in are gonna make you move a lot easier, a lot smoother, with a lot less effort, and if you have pain, a lot less pain. And it's real simple, and I can't wait to show you this one because it really changes lives sometimes. So for this, you're just going to be lying on your back, no equipment needed. Let's get started. So we're just going to start lying flat in a nice comfortable position, like we do. Ooh. And you know what, let's just take a second to just kind of breathe, release the tension, take a moment for ourselves. Feel yourself sink into the floor. Feel how the floor supports your body. Or if you're lying in bed for this, feel how you conform to your bed. This is one that we can do. It's easier to practice on a firm surface, but it's important to do it in bed because that's where you're probably going to be performing this. And just take a moment to relax. Feel the weight of your body. And you're going to bring both your feet to standing. And we're going to start with just our basic pelvic tilt. And so we're just going to rock the pelvis backwards and then allow it to rock forwards. And it's important to be able to roll your pelvis backwards with fluidity in order to be able to roll easily. Okay, what I want you to watch out for is that you're not lifting, right? So lifting is where most people go wrong, because once you lift, there's really no opportunity to do much from there. We want to roll, and that ability to roll gives you freedom. You want more of your body, when you're rolling, you want more of your body touching the surface, not less. You want more places to roll to, and not fewer places to roll to. So see if you can roll your pelvis back in a way that allows for the most contact you possibly can have with your low back, the low part of your back, your mid back. Most of us have an area that likes to touch, and so we just kind of pivot up on that area and lift the other area off. For me, that's it right here. I like to touch the table here, but right here, not so much. So I have to really take time and really be thoughtful and say, how can I get that low part to really make contact? Okay, this is just good preparation. Obviously, you don't have to do this every time you roll. We're just kind of preparing the body to make it easier to roll. Nice and simple, nice and easy, trying to find that complicated, that area that just doesn't want to touch so much and make it easy. And this should be relaxing. It should be easy breathing, easy movement, not holding breath. That creates stiffness. Stiffness is going to make rolling much more difficult. Good. Okay, now we're just going to take the left leg and you're going to allow it to fall straight, and you're going to let the right leg stay standing up just as it is. And I want you to think about a line between your pelvis and the front of your right thigh, okay? And I want you to imagine that you're pushing a line from that right thigh forward and over your kneecap a little bit. So imagine that you're making this line up and out a little bit to the side, and you're just going to do that same pelvic tilt, that same rock that we did, but you're going to think about striving your thigh up and over your knee, just a little, and then come back. Good. Make it small, because if we can get it right from the very beginning, everything's easier. If we kind of move in the wrong direction early, it's going to become real difficult. So see if we can just do what we did, but on one leg, and elongate from the front of the thigh over the knee, and then come back. And you're going to notice that when you do that, it starts to create a tilt of the pelvis to the left. The pelvis starts to actually roll to the left side. So we're going to elongate, and I'll feel that. I can feel that my left pelvis and low back start to fall to the surface, and the right starts to kind of lift up a little bit. And relax. Good. And let's go again. And feel that idea of how early and how easily can you allow the right heel to press down, the right thigh to elongate in a way that tips the pelvis to the right. And then we can just, if we feel that movement, we can elongate or increase that movement a little bit to create a little bit more rocking. And so because we're doing essentially the same thing that we're doing with both legs, but because we're doing it with one leg now, it's creating an offset position or a rock or a tilt to the left. One thing I want you to watch out for is that we don't let this knee tilt in. It doesn't fall into the midline. A lot of times people like to move their body into the midline because that's another way to tilt your pelvis to the left. But unfortunately from here, you lose all your power. You lose your foot contact with the ground, and then you're stuck with your arms trying to struggle over. Keeping that heel planted is important because it allows you to maintain your power to turn, and a little bit counterintuitively, you're going to keep this knee off to the right as your pelvis rolls to the left. So feel that ability to push through the heel, elongate through the thigh, and then the right knee stays to the right and the pelvis rolls off to the left. And you can feel that as you do that, the whole lower body now is rolling easily, making sure that you're not lifting, because once you lift or push down with the other side, it brings you up, and that's not bringing you over. It's all about trying to bring yourself over. Okay, very good. So now we're going to straighten out the legs and relax, and so it's kind of moving the lower body, but we also have to think about the upper body. And so what I want you to do is you're going to interlace your fingers. You're going to bring your fist to the ceiling. And then I want you to just take that right shoulder and just lift it off of the table a little bit. And as you do that, you're going to notice that the fist starts to tilt to the left and the weight goes into the left upper back. So we're going to lift that right shoulder and feel yourself tilt to the left. And now we're going to do both. You're going to lift the right shoulder, tilt the hands to the left, and put more weight into that left chest, into that left upper back as you go. So this is the same as just like we're rocking the pelvis to the left, now we're rocking the upper body, the upper torso to the left. So lifting that right, weighting the left, and seeing how well can we find weight shift from the center of the spine onto the left shoulder, onto that left kind of shoulder blade area and back. And let's just do a few. And let's remember to stay soft and easy. It's not about effort, it's about finding opportunities to move easier and get the same results. Lifting that shoulder, pushing the left side down, elongating this right arm, the fists towards the left, and feeling that you can roll your body with that. Good. Easy, simple rock. Very nice. You'll notice that if I just take my left leg and I bring it out to the side like this, if that's comfortable for you, that it makes things a little bit easier even still, because now it's already tilting my pelvis off to the left a little bit. It makes it easier even to lift my right shoulder, easier to load my left arm, and I find that that fist moves even further off to the left, getting my torso over. Right? We can't do that when we're rolling because this leg would block us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to straighten out the left leg, and we're going to combine both of those activities together. So we're going to bend the right knee, interlace the fingers, reach up to the ceiling. We're going to elongate that thigh so that it rolls the pelvis back into the left, not letting the knee come over, but planting that heel. Then we're going to elongate that right arm, take that right shoulder off, and you're going to find that, whoop, you're just going to find yourself off rolling onto your side. We're going to roll back. Rolling back is generally easier for people because gravity will help that happen. But let's try that again. See how easy. If you did it and you did it well, see if you can make it even simpler. So from here, we're going to plant that left heel. We're going to elongate that thigh over the knee to the right. Feel the pelvis roll back into the left. And then as it rolls, that we just lift this right shoulder to help bring us over and easy onto the side. And then we'll roll back the same way, slinky and smooth. One more time. And you'll notice that this is even overkill with both arms, that you don't even really need that, but that's just a tool to help us get there. We need this foot. The foot plants down, the thigh elongates over the knee, the pelvis turns. And then if we just take this hand and we just bring it over, which lifts that shoulder, we can just reach for the other side of us, and that brings you over too. Very nice. And relax. Good. And so just quite that simply, you're rolling over onto your left. And what you're not doing is you're not lifting and trying to move yourself mid-air. What I see most people do is they try to lift themselves up, turn themselves in the air, and then come back down. And then prop themselves up and turn themselves in the air and then come back down. But eventually, they run out of props. They run out of places to lift from. If we think about contact rather than rolling, how much contact can we keep with the floor, you'll realize that by pushing, you're actually creating more contact onto the floor, which gives you more places to roll onto. When you lift, there's no place to move to. You have no base, you have no foundation. So that's why that's difficult. All right, let's straighten out both legs. Rest for a moment. We're gonna bend the left knee, and we're just gonna try that single leg approach with that left side. So all you're gonna think about is that left thigh, and can you elongate it over the left knee? Just that little bit and back down, right? The right heel stays in contact, the left heel is staying in contact with the floor, and that's your power. That's where you're pushing from, that left heel to elongate that left thigh over the knee, and you'll feel that as you do that, the pelvis just starts to tip. It just starts to rock off to the right. So if you imagine that your pelvis was a big bucket of water with the top of the bucket facing the ceiling, filled to the top, as you elongate that left leg, the water starts to spill off to the right and maybe a little bit upward. Good. And come on back. Getting that first part, getting that initial push is vital. Now making sure the right leg is staying quiet, it's not helping you. If you try to push down with that right heel, it's gonna lift your back up, and again, you're gonna be in space. You're not providing yourself a platform to roll to. And so then we're gonna just add a little bit more movement to that. So we're gonna make that movement a little bit bigger, elongate, and this is where it's important to let that knee stay off to the left, and that creates the power from your left butt to roll the pelvis to the right. All of the power is coming from the hip, coming from the butt cheek, not from the belly button. If we try to roll by lifting the belly button, again, it winds up lifting and twisting, and what happens is the belly comes forward but the pelvis falls backwards, and you wind up getting stuck and putting a lot more strain on your back. That's where people who have acute pain find a lot of trouble. Plant the left heel, rock the pelvis back and over. Feel how much body contact on the right increases as you do that, and then come back. And I want you to do a few of those and just work within whatever your ability level is. Whatever feels like your natural endpoint, that's where you stop. You don't push further, you don't do extra, and then you come back down. And a few of those, and just take time to see if you can make it smoother and simpler and easier. And you might notice, if you're nice and connected up here, that as that pelvis rocks, moves to the right, the head turns to the right, because that's bringing even more contact into that right side of your body, into the floor. See if you can make that connection. Elongate the thigh, let the knee stay off to the left. Feel the pelvis roll back into the table, and then it starts to lift on the left, but anything that lifts on the left has a corresponding dropping on the right, giving you a place to roll to. Never lifting both, that's not gonna help you. And again, soft and smooth and easy, feeling that body roll. And then the return. And this exercise is, I'm sneaking it in here. It's not just good for rolling, but it is a great hip external rotator muscle engagement exercise. One of the most important muscles for stability with walking, stairs, getting out of chairs. So if you can do this well, it's gonna help you not just roll, but do so many other functional activities. Good. One more time, giving yourself a nice roll to the end of your easy ability. Thigh goes forward and off to the left. Pelvis rolls, really feeling for each area, and feel the return, that you're returning just as segmentally, just as slinky back to center. Perfect. Relax, lie flat. Feel
from this, you should even feel like maybe as you lie here, you get even a little bit more connected to the surface, that even not doing anything, you have more places that are connecting to the surface, which is more opportunity of areas to roll to, which makes you even more supple and more free to move. All right, I'm gonna interlace the fingers, fists up to the ceiling, and then we're gonna just take the left shoulder and shoulder blade and just raise it up and just let it fall back down. Nice and easy, nice and smooth, nothing fancy here. And you'll notice that as you lift the left arm up, it tilts the fists off to the right, and it should also create a little bit of a weighting of your right upper ribs or upper chest or upper back. And you might notice that your head turns along with that a little bit. And we're just getting comfortable with the idea of taking weight off of the left shoulder and on to the right shoulder. And again, that idea of moving onto a new base, onto a new place to roll to. All right, versus propping up where you're up in the air and then having no place to roll to, having to spin midair and then collapse back down. All right, as you lift that left arm up, can you push a little bit the right ribs and shoulder blade down into the surface? Can you, as one thing unweights, can we weight with the other side in a way that just connects you to the ground a little bit easier and allows you to roll a little bit smoother? This is going to be a much smaller movement than the one we did with the pelvis, but it will be useful. It will help us as we roll over. Good. Feeling for that smooth, easy rotation. Elongate that left arm. Kind of roll onto those right ribs and come back down and relax. Excellent. Okay. We'll take a moment. And then we're going to combine both of those activities together. So we're going to bend the left knee. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to reach. We're going to start focusing on the left heel. Okay, press that left heel down. Roll the pelvis back. Feel yourself roll into your right low back and pelvis. And then as that pelvis starts to rotate, lift the left shoulder. So you roll onto the right shoulder. And presto, before you know it, without even trying, without even thinking, you're on your back. Let's try to roll back in a slinky way, just the same. You're going to roll back from the top, and we're going to come back into our start position. Arms up in the air. We're going to find that left heel, press through, feel yourself rolling back and tipping the pelvis. And then you're going to lift the right, and then that left knee stays off to the left just until you feel like you've gotten to the point where you're already over on your side, and then you can let that left knee fall in and stay down. Good. Now we'll roll back. We'll try a few of those. And again, if this is easy for you, see if you can make it smoother. See if you can make less effort. Can you work less? Can we roll that pelvis so easily? Can there be no impediments? Can we connect our body and have such a broad base to roll to that it's almost zero effort to roll over? Always refining. We can, even if we're feeling really comfortable with that, we don't even need to raise both arms up. We can actually just do the left foot, heel, roll the pelvis, and then take the left arm and reach across the body. That's going to lift that left shoulder and help bring you over. I like double-handed way because it just kind of drives home the point, but it is a little bit more muscle activity, a little bit more work. So you don't need it if you're already good with this. Good. And relax. Good. From here, if you want to sit up, the easy way to sit up, I'll show you what to do. See, I was jumping around myself. We're going to come push through the heel, roll the pelvis, lift, come all the way onto your side. I'm just going to scoot back so I don't roll off the table. All the way onto your side. Good. Once you're on your side, you're going to bend your knees up. Okay? If you're in bed, you let your feet hang down just a little bit, and that's going to start to pull your pelvis down. Okay? And then from here, you're going to take the top hand, and you're just going to push so you can get the bottom elbow underneath you. All right? I'm going to show you that one more time. If you're in bed, you're going to let the feet, just the feet dangle down, and when they dangle down, it's going to pull your pelvis down, which is the beginning of sitting up. that weight down is going to be very helpful. You take the top hand and you push just enough to get your other elbow under you. Once you're here, you push through the elbow, push away to get weight onto your seat, and then extend the elbow to come up. Okay, I can show you that one more time. If you're on the floor, obviously you can't do the feet hanging down part, but you can do the rest. Okay, so you're gonna let the feet hang down. That's gonna drop the pelvis over, right? You're gonna feel the weight come off your shoulder a little bit. You take the top hand, you press down to sneak that other elbow away. You're gonna push that arm away to put weight on both cheeks, right? And then from there, you can use that other hand, if you want to or not, to push away and straighten. Good. And then you come to sitting up. All right, there you have it. Those are the tricks to really creating body contact to allow you to roll and not lift and spin, lift and spin. That's where all the pain comes in. I hope you find that helpful. And even if you're okay with rolling, the principles there, they carry over to so many other activities. This is a real fundamental, foundational movement pattern for a lot of things that we do. So even if rolling's easy for you, I promise this will help you with other things that you're doing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank yourself for taking the time for doing what's good for you, for helping yourself. Not everybody will do that, but you did, and it deserves acknowledgement. So good on you for that one today. I'll be back with you next week with a whole new video teaching you how to move differently so you can feel better, and you can see my whole library of exercises on my website, www.arthritishelp.info, as you see somewhere here on the screen. All right, I'll see you guys all next week. Take care.